many questions? Was his longing to know the truth finally, truly over? The oversized tack room smelled of leather, horsehair, neat's foot oil, and fried lard. Saddles rested on sawhorses and bridles. Harness and headgear hung from wall pegs. A cast-iron stove occupied the wall opposite the doorway, with its stovepipe piercing the wall through a tin vent hole. Two ladder-back chairs flanked the small wooden table, where Old Joe and Mr. Jordan ate their meals and enjoyed their evening ration of corn liquor, behind closed doors. What with Elizabethtown being a strict Baptist community that denounced, each and every Sunday, the partaking of distilled spirits. Boone pointed to one of the chairs at the table. "Have a seat, lad." Pivoting on his peg leg, the livery owner dropped into the chair across from Ty. "I suppose I better start at the beginning. Your father and I went off to Texas in 1846. We enlisted at Lexington, Kentucky, in John Hunt Morgan's company. Morgan was a captain then. Once the tussle with Mexico was finished, your father and I decided to settle in Texas. It may sound cruel and cold to you, but your father knew your mother had died during childbirth. She was a beautiful woman, and it sapped the will out of him for months. Did Father know I survived?" Ty interrupted. "Don't get impatient with me, lad," Boone Jordan said with a gentle smile. "I'm sorry I was rude, Mr. Jordan. I've asked that question since I was old enough to understand what few tidbits about my father that grandmother shared with me." Boone Jordan sighed, extended his arm, and clasped Ty's shoulder. "Owen knew you survived. Enoch and your father had a falling out before he left Kentucky. But your grandmother defied his orders and wrote your father and told him. Then Father never wanted to lay eyes on me, to claim me for his son," Ty blurted out, choking back a sob. "Hear me out, lad," Boone said. "Don't judge your father too harshly until you do, all right?" Ty nodded his head and bit his lip to make sure he remained silent. He might not like what he was about to be told, but he wouldn't bawl like a child and disgrace himself. He was nearly 17 years of age, too old to break into tears in front of Mr. Jordan. "Owen mourned your mother for years," Boone said. "He talked of returning to Kentucky. Then we joined the Rangers, so as not to starve, and we were soon chasing Comanche warriors over most of Texas. We were scouting on horseback nearly every waking hour. Years went by, and your father started talking of someday owning a ranch of his own. He hardly mentioned Kentucky, lad. I think so much time slipped away, your father was terribly embarrassed that he had ducked his fatherly duties." Boone leaned back in his chair. His gaze was fixed on Ty's face. There was also your grandfather to be dealt with if he came home. Now, Owen fears nothing. He saved my life when we were caught in that Comanche ambush at Blue Springs. Sure, I lost part of a leg, but I'm still waking to daylight." Brain whirling, Ty hung on Boone's every word. What Owen didn't want was a brawl with your grandfather. Enoch objected to his marrying your mother. Your grandmother told Owen in her letter that your grandfather had disowned him, had legally denied him his rightful inheritance, and had himself appointed your guardian by the Elizabethtown courts. If Owen ever set foot on Mattson property again, your grandfather vowed he'd shoot him. Boone Jordan's heavy brow knitted together. "Lad, I wager you know nothing about Owen being disowned, the guardianship, or your grandfather's threat, do you?" Flabbergasted, Ty could only shake his head. His grandmother hadn't told him. That he understood. Victoria Mattson